Hello everyone, I'm High Treason. I couldn't find where I'd said a couple of parts ago I'd put a picture in. Maybe I'll remember to do it at the start of this one where they said put a carpet over it. It doesn't really matter. We were on our way, driving a drive that was long, and so we're going to continue with that right now. Here we go. I think we're facing the right way. In our dodgy fucking car. Who the fuck put those there? Aliens. Yeah, I'll wait until I'm at a stop to show you something I forgot about. Yeah, and we sure did lose all our shit when we left that truck behind, that pickup, for the UFO, didn't we? Well, it's alright, we'll be fine. Let's find the magic position on the gas pedal here. Quite a degree of control on this car for some reason. It's quite flat terrain. We'd probably go a bit faster here. We're actually flooring it anyway. It's not going that quick. I wonder what that's about. Well, I don't know. I'm hoping we find a diner today and we can get this car fully cleaned up. You know, like I say, I think it deserves to look its best. I don't like this model of car. That fucking... Look at the fucking thing here. It's made out of that rubber floor, and you don't see that shit anymore. The ice arena floor used to be made of that. The cycles in it were bigger. It used to be quite a common material. You had that stuff what was like, it was like liner, but not quite the same. It's a little bit fibrous usually if you cut it up. So it's kind of like strong liner, and it used to come in red mostly. And it had glitter in it. And they used to put that on the floor of news agents all over the place. You don't see that anymore either. It actually had a smell about it, that stuff. It was not bad. It was quite nice. Probably off-gassing a million poisonous things, but, well, you know, you just got to live with this stuff, ain't you? Again, I thought the crosshair was a rock. I think it is a crosshair, is it? It's a reticular rectum. We'll just call it a rectum. Yeah, I think that's what it is, because it's not a cross. I think it has to be a cross to be a crosshair, or at least be like a line. For some reason, every time I read the word crosshair when I was younger, I read it as crosshair. Almost like crochet, but obviously not the same. I'd always look back, because I was like, no, that's not right. But my brain would stick a H in it for some reason, I don't know why. Brain does weird things sometimes. I mean, do you ever have that thing where you just get music out of nowhere, and it has nothing to do with anything you were doing or anything you really think you've been around that day, but your brain just starts playing random music at you out of nowhere? Because, like, you know, a few hours back I was just sat fiddling with pieces of engine, and I just suddenly have the fucking Pepper Ann theme blasted in my head. I fucking hate that shit. So God knows where that came from. Man, that cartoon was garbage. I mean, I'd say it was a girl show, but when I was, like, a kid, you know, a lot of my friends were girls, and I don't really remember them watching it much either. Like, a couple of them watched it for, like, a little bit, and then they just watched something else, and didn't watch it again, so I don't know. There's probably somewhere in the world it was really, really popular for some reason, but, not around here, I guess. The thing with your brain playing music is how it does it when you're trying to sleep. If you're trying to sleep and you end up missing sleep and you're stuck awake, you get the music. I know I'm not the only person who has that, where you'll just get a bit of a song just looping over and over and over again in your head. And I wonder what that mechanism is, why that happens. Like, what's that all about? It's so fucking strange. You know, if it was just me it happened to, or just a small number of people, you're just, alright, it's some minor defect in a linkage in a brain somewhere that just a few people have, but it's so damn common that you have to wonder, like, well, You know, is there some evolutionary advantage to this mechanism? But then where did music even come from anyway? I've long maintained that music came about in some kind of battle or war. You know, the idea of using music as a weapon always just seemed really funny to me, always appealed to me. And I sat and actually gave it serious thought one day, and I was like, well, you know, a lot of inventions come about in wars. They come about through necessity, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe music was a weapon initially. People always argue how it came from Bard's song, how it came from, like, the sound of monkeys fucking in a bush, I don't know. But, no, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, like, a human invention. Like, you know, humans fidget. And there has to be a reason that humans fidget as well. Lord knows what that is, but, you know, you're telling me someone didn't knock out, like, a rhythm on something and think, oh, that sounds good, you know? And then they sat and thought about it as one of them radio towers. I'm not going near those. Every time I go near those, I seem to end up, like, you know, perishing, so, yeah, it's a bit inconvenient. We're not going to go near them. You know, and they're like, hey, shit, you know, if we make a really loud noise, because we know loud noises scar things, so if we get all our village, like when we're going against the other village, to, like, make those kinds of noises, like, you know, it might scar the other fucking villagers, and maybe it did. Because maybe when they marched it up, they could just hear this, like, singing and banging and stuff, and they were like, oh, wow, what is that coming for us, you know? Should we just run away now? Like, I wouldn't be at all surprised if music was a weapon when it was first invented. I mean, it could be just a power display, you know, if you could actually choreograph people a little bit to sing the same thing in time. You know, that would potentially be quite intimidating for an opposing, like, bunch of people. Like, you know, look how well organised these people are. They're going to beat the shit out of us, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. Yeah, we're not stopping that. You know, who knows? It could happen. But yeah, you know, when they talk about, like, common things with the human mind, one of them that gets me is little green men. Like, why do people see little green men when they trip out? Because it, you know, it's, years ago, a friend of mine gave me some hallucinogenics, and I tried it, and would never do it again, but yeah, you know, I saw X-Men coming out the television, the presenter for fucking Catchphrase or something, you know, come out with an axe, and I ended up hiding in the bog, in, like, the fucking shop of all places, and I'd run away down the fucking high street, and I went and hid in the grocery store toilet, and I'm like, none of it's real, and I think it's wearing off, but as I'm sat in the corner of the cubicle on the floor, I see these little green dudes climbing up out of the toilet, and by then I'd sort of, my wits were coming back, and I was like, well, it's not real, but I don't want to be in here because it's, you know, it's weirding me out enough that I don't want to be around it, but I know it's not really real. But yeah, having talked to other people, I know I'm not the only person who's seen these little green men, and it's like, well, you know, it actually seems really common for people to hallucinate those. And so it's like, well, why that specifically? You know, the guy with the axe coming out the TV, you can sort of understand. It's a human with an axe. These are things that everybody has seen, and things that from movies and that are pretty well established. There's been, you know, a threat, like, you know, or a thing that exists, you know. It's, little green dudes, you don't see them all the time, do you? Like, maybe that's why the alien babes come to this planet. Their men are just too fucking small for them. You know, maybe they're like those blue-haired feminist alien babes. Like, you know, as you remember, we established every, like, girl on something like that seems to have a massive slit for some reason. But yeah, anyways, yeah, the little green dudes. I don't get it. Like, what is it in the human brain that makes so many people see that? Was there little green dudes on the planet at one time and it's just some weird genetic memory? Are they always there and you just can't usually see them? Unless, what was that tacking noise? Unless you take certain substances. It's a strange one, isn't it? Like, you have to think. I think it's a bit preposterous to think that they're always there. You know, I think it is something in the human brain, but as I say, as to why that's a thing that people see, I really can't answer that. I don't know. It is so bloody strange. Yeah, you can put anything in baskets, I think I've said before. This is the back to the truck that we had. Yeah, look at the basket up close. Just let it fall over. Man, the physics are weird in this game, and I really do love it for it, you know. Isn't one of my wheels not, like, fully shiny? I don't think that one's fully shiny either, is it? It may be. Well, we'll figure that out. We haven't stopped much these last few parts. I do think, you know, we should have more stoppy parts. Just for, like, the change of scenery. Excuse me. I have no idea how that's held up, but how is my radiator doing? Actually full. We are not losing fluid out of that. Oh dear. That's gone. Oh shit. I was hoping we'd find some cleaning supplies. I don't think we're going to find them. So we'll just have one last sort of rush look for gasoline. We could look under the tables and everything. We could stay in here a long, long time, but I'm not too interested in doing that, you know. I don't think it's necessary. Hey, there's a thing I could show you. Yeah, what's this? Okay, I mean, it didn't work very well on this one, but that's the thing you can do. Don't ask me why, but I mean, I guess you can do that in real life, so why shouldn't you be able to do it in a video game, right? Can't say I ever have painted a tard. I might have done indirectly, because there'll be plenty of times when I've put paint down the sink and, you know, somebody would have had a shit, like, not long before, and so the shit would be down the drain already. Yeah, all my wheels are good. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever brought spare wheels in this game. Like, there's something I see a lot of people bring with them in it, spare wheels, and I just don't think I've ever done that. In any case, let's get. I don't think we're going to see a diner, because it just looks like we've got miles and miles of relatively flat desert, and I don't really think diners tend to spawn in these. I'm sure I've seen them do it, but I almost feel like they're kind of rigged not to. They seem to have a preference for grass biomes and the mud biome. I still think there's a building type I've never seen. I'm fairly confident, but at least one. So who knows, maybe we'll see one. Maybe it's just super duper rare, because I've never seen it yet, but I've seen like a picture of something, so... And I've had a couple of people tell me, you know, when I've questioned about it, like, oh yeah, that is in the game. But a lot of people run mods and stuff, and you have to, this is another problem where you have to start wondering whether people are running a mod that they maybe haven't read the README and it introduces something. I don't think we'll ever run mods on this. Like, I don't tend to do mods on games very much. Like, you know, I like to play vanilla stuff. I think I said I updated my mod for Iron Fury, because I know it got broken at some point and it went all jittery, so I've fixed that. So yeah, you can pee in toilets and stuff again in that game now with the add-on I made. It has a mod DB page. And drink bleach, and if I ever update it again, I've had a couple of people ask me to have the ability to drink coffee, and I'm like, yeah, I can totally do that, and maybe I should have it like affect the running speed for a while. And and then maybe reset the bladder timer a little bit faster on it. Or make it so that if you drink lots of it in a short amount of time, like maybe you start taking like one hit to your health like every so many seconds at random. You know, unless you go and find a bog to use, or a bush or something, I don't know, a bucket. There's a program those in as well. You know, it just seemed like if I'm going to make something horrible like this, I might as well make it completely horrible instead of just a little bit horrible. Admittedly, a part of me will always take a little bit of pride in the fact that it was the first gameplay mod for the game. And, and it was that. It kind of made the game worse rather than made it better. Didn't add anything of value. And that's what you want. You know, the devs must have been so overjoyed. Oh, we've released our game. You know, we've told everybody that everything we've done in it doesn't affect them because they're just the people who bought the game and all that bullshit. And then, you know, like, I wonder what sort of mods people will make for it, even though they've made it very difficult to do when the game was first out. I wonder what sort of wonderful, you know, user content will appear for this game. People will make really cool things, real awesome levels, and some real awesome gameplay stuff, and, you know, and then what do they get? Oh, this is the first gameplay mod to your game, and oh, what does it do? It lets you consume chemicals and kill yourself by doing it, and lets you pee in things. Oh, well, isn't that just glorious, you know? What a glamorous thing to do. Look, it's supposed to be carrying the torch for Duke Nukem. It's supposed to be a spiritual successor to the Build Engine games. And Duke Nukem can use the lavatory, so, you know, it just seems a bit dodgy to me that that feature's missing. And like I say, given my, like, history with things, it's just like, it has to be me who does it. You know, it has to be who makes this. This is my revenge on the world for all the shit it's put me through. Now you can all share in my misery. I'm still always toying with the idea of making things randomly blow up, like make a really obscure chance of, like, you know, if you've used something it might explode and just send like tards flying everywhere or something. It'd be like a 1 in like a million chance it would happen. I've never been sure whether I actually want to implement this or not. I'm actually driving with just my nail at the moment. I always leave a couple of my nails long and people don't seem to like it, which I think's stupid, and I think they're probably a bit silly. Like, you know, they have to go and get tools to open parcels, and I don't, because I can just cut through tape with the one nail I leave long. Like, I always like to have at least one long one. Preferably two, but I'll take just having one. It's very useful, you know, you tie screws with it and all sorts. It was down and eventually it like, you know, starts to get a bit shit and it'll just break off. But it can grow quite long, you know, if I wasn't tarring screws and stuff with it, it would eventually just curl back under my finger, like. So one thing I can do is actually grow decent nails. It makes the girls jealous. It's quite funny. What on earth is this? This sort of looks like one of them bunkers, but it is. Just the colour looks all wrong. I don't really need this. I guess we'll get out and look for fuel, but I'm not really too concerned about fuel. This is part 22. I think we'll keep this car until like part 25 or something, so I'm not going to be looking to replace it too quick. We are getting more boxes in these for some reason. And the rates of things do change as you go far out, but I don't remember this being a thing, at least not before. I guess it is now. Well, look who it is. Yeah. There is something I want that spawns in these sometimes. But it also just spawns around this building in general, but it doesn't do so very often. Oh, look at that. Yeah, let's keep it. I don't think we're going to paint this car. This car can stay this horrible green colour. It's fucking Kohlbergy green, but maybe we'll paint some other car there. Then again, we've had quite a few orange ones, haven't we? Maybe we want a different colour. Oh, we had a blue one. The Plymouth was blue at first. I think our fast car was blue as well. We've had a green one now. Maybe we should get a yellow one. Because, I mean, we had a red one. We've had a pink one. We could have a black one. I don't think you get black paint very often. Get a white one, see all the desert dust on it. That'll be nice. Jeez, can you imagine owning a white car? Man, that'd just be a bit fucking daft, wouldn't it? All the fucking filth would show up so good. We've got about 15 minutes before I'm going to fuck off and I'm going to go to bed. It's past my bedtime already, actually. Shit. Oh, mate, my stomach's been playing up, so I was drinking water. So, you know, I wouldn't have been able to go to bed anyway, and I wanted to record, and I couldn't do that because it was playing up. It's still a bit pissed at me, so... You know, so I might as well just record a part of this while it finishes calming down. It sidetracks me because I don't like just sitting there doing not a lot with my guts bothering me, because then I focus on it and it feels like 10 times fucking worse. And I'm sure everyone knows that, like, you know, say an example, something small, because I can't really convey to somebody who doesn't have this what it feels like, but you know, even when it's something little, like say if you got a cut on your finger that stings a bit, if you go and do something, like it doesn't have to be a lot, you know, but you go and do something, like it could be something really simple, like just wiping the windows down or something. You won't notice the stinging so much anymore, well, unless you like do something that makes it sting more, but you know, your brain will kind of ignore it. There's only so many things it can process, and it knows it's stinging and it needs to tell you it's stinging, but you already know that and it'll give up after a while. It's just like, nah, that's not important information now. So that, you know, I need all these pathways to convey like other things, and it's conveying the wiping down of the window, like movements and, you know, feedback from the, like, pushing the fucking, like, rag on there and stuff, you know. It's a bit more important, being able to see it and hearing your surroundings and things like that. So it's like, no, that little dull stinging feeling in my finger's actually really not very important right now. So I'm not going to pay it that much attention. It's not that simple with my stomach. It doesn't, you know, drown it out completely, but it stops me really thinking about it as much. Because there's nothing I can do. Like, all I can do about it is sit down and wait for it to pass, or stand up and wait for it to pass, and like it will go away eventually. It's just not much fun while it's going on. I've questioned making myself vomit. I don't really want to do it, but I've questioned whether it would help. You know, I don't think it would. I think in the short time it would. I think like for a few minutes I'd be like, yeah, that feels way better now. But I actually think in the long term, like the heaving of the muscles and stuff would actually aggravate it more, so then I'd just kind of get an after sort of bashing out of my guts like an hour or so later and wish I hadn't done it. Tyres, yeah, that's a tired tyre. I really want cleaning supplies and stuff. We'll take the gasoline. I'm going to steal that biscuits as well, because them rabbits usually steal them off me, and the alien babes. So that's going to be mine. That's my fucking bread cakes. See if there's any gasoline on the roof. Not today, there ain't. Oh well, oh God, it can't be going nighttime again already. We've just had nighttime. I swear the cycles are... like, time passes quicker in the game some days than more others. Yeah, I mean, realistically, I don't think we'd ever have to get fuel again for the time that we're planning on keeping this car. I might actually keep this car like up to part 30 or something, which would be the whole 8 parts from here, which actually seems like quite a ways. Who knows? Maybe we'll give it a couple extra. We'll go up to like 27 with it. So I mean, it's not a bad car, and I don't know. I feel like I've barely gotten to know it. I am honestly so tempted to take this car all the way to the end of the road, and I might even break a save off when we do part ways with it. And you know, after I'd record everything like fast, and then I'll just come back after the fact, and I will bring this car to the end of the road and back home. And I guess I would just check in with you, you know, on that. Like, I guess, you know, what I'd do is, I think once I get to the end of the road, I should give this a break, because, I mean, you're going to get, like, you know, probably nigh on 100 parts, like I say, if not more. And so I think I should fuck off for a while, and then, you know, come back to drive back. But in the time that I'm fucked off from YouTube, I could be going back and driving this car there. And so when I'd come back, I'd be like, hey, look, we've made it with this car, I actually did it. But anyway, let's go back to whatever the fuck it was we were driving in the series save, and then drive all the way back to the house. Assuming it hasn't been demolished or something while we're gone. And then, yeah, you know, I'd do that, and then when that's over, I'd go back to this car and drive that all the way back. Like, you know, from that save. So there were like 2 parallel universes going on. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm so endeared to this car. It's such a shit car. It's a type that, like I say, I usually really despise in this game, and I just don't know what it is about this particular one. For some reason, I just like this one. I really, really like it. It looks like one of them big gas stations out there, and they do sometimes have cleaning supplies. As we're going past the boat anyway, I'm going to stop at it. I only have about 10 minutes left, so we're probably going to end it at that gas station out there. You watch the road go over there. If not the boat, it depends if we run out of time at the boat, then I'll just stop at the boat. Progress, maybe we haven't made our target in this one, because we've stopped quite a lot, but I think we needed to, because we just haven't stopped very much for the last few parts, and, you know, I'm sure you want to see some things go on in some of the buildings. There's not a lot in here. That might be, well, actually there maybe is. That doesn't matter, does it? That is full of empty. Okay, can we stop? That's full of empty. That one's trying to escape. Maybe that's the one. That's empty. It's one of these empty boats, isn't it? I swear you get them. I've seen them where all of these are empty. I'm sure it's just bad luck, but it's pretty shitty when it happens. Get out the way. I've been bloody watching, you know, you just leave YouTube play random things sometimes when you're busy, and so I've been watching some dude talk about Thomas the fucking tank engine. He seems to know his stuff. I haven't watched that show since I was a kid. I mean, yeah, he really seems to know his stuff, the dude, actually, in all fairness. Can't remember his name, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I didn't pay that much attention to that. But yeah, man, fans of that show, they really do take it seriously. I mean, that's not that unusual to me, you know, it's... I understand that. But, you know, it's... Like I say, I don't watch that show, I haven't watched that since I was a kid, but... Like, you know, I understand being like that about something, so... You know, I'm not making fun of these people or nothing. You do a lot worse than being a Thomas the Tank Engine fan, certainly. I'm sure there are probably a bunch of autists, but, well, that's not a problem either, really, is it? I mean, you know, what does it really matter? Like, autistic people are fucking brilliant. Like, you know, if you want to know something about a subject, then, yeah, they're probably the people to consult, because if that's a subject they're interested in, they will know a lot more about it than anyone else. And like I say, that is not a bad fucking thing at all. So, like, no, I'm going to ask that dude, because his knowledge on this subject is going to be way better than, you know, that other guy's most likely. Like, their brains just are wired that way. It's like, you know... road's over there. Where's this gas station? There it is. I was going from memory. You can see my angle's not always perfect, is it? But I always get there. It might actually be closer there. I think the road does loop back over a little bit. Is that the road there? There's no way that's the road there. It is. Oh, I guess we took a shortcut. Cool. Oh man, there's no cars at this one. There is a rock formation there though. Look at that shit. That's awful. Yeah, they'll start spawning in buildings soon. Oh, a litre of gas. Don't mind if I do. I think I'll pour that in my car. Now that the duplicating bug's fixed, driving back is going to be a lot harder than it used to be, you know? When we come to that. I mean, we are getting there. I'll probably check the oil, but I don't really need any. We just topped that up recently. Ah, fuck it, just push the boards. People die at them boards. I don't know how they manage to do it, because they're just not that dangerous. Like, what are you doing? That is killing. That is a nice colour. I might kick that other colour. Oh no, we got a basket here. Check that out. Yeah, we're only cleaning supplies of sponge, it looks like. I mean, that's fine. That's better than nothing. We can probably clean some of the car with it. We are about up on time, so I don't think I'll be driving any farther in this one, but it actually looks like the building shifted, you know. It might have done. Yeah! Right, yeah, let's clean the paintwork with this, I guess. Oh, jeez. I can't list it kept going. Look at my car. It scrubs up okay, doesn't it, to say what it is. I mean, I say it was never going to be a pretty motor, this one. It's... Can we shine up that chrome? Oh, man, look at it. Car, look, somebody cares about you after all this time. Such a grot bag of a car that nobody would ever likely fucking really give a fuck about, but, you know, you've got lucky. Yes, I know I'm making you do work, but I'm rewarding you for it. My poor fucking car, man. I do feel bad for that car. I thought that was that white gauge from the start, then. Yeah, clock. Don't see those very often. I was hoping there would be a brush in here somewhere. I really do want to clean the metal up, but I guess that's not going to happen, is it? Don't do that, you idiot. Do you realise just how much of a mess we are... No, don't do that. Can't, nearly lost you then. How much of a mess we are making there. We are carrying two objects and interacting with doors at the same fucking time. What could ever possibly go wrong with that? Will that shine up, do you think? I don't think it will. It's not gonna. Yeah, we need jizz spray or brushes. And those seem to be rather scarce now. Well, I said I'd check the oil, so I guess I'll do that before I save and get out of here. You know, I can't help but feel like maybe we drove backwards to get to this gas station. It just, something doesn't feel right about it. Wow, it actually drinks oil. Or maybe we didn't have enough to fill it all the way up. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to serve, and then I'm going to clear off. Let's have a look. What were we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, YT19. Our distance travelled is... this will get slower. 1054, and we were at 1010. So we're only like fucking 6 k's off. Made alright progress, all the stopping and faffing around. That wasn't bad. It's all thanks to my car. I'm High Treason, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, you know what we should try? This is off the clock, you understand, do you? Will this gauge actually screw up any better than it is? Because it's all mottled, isn't it? There's our cleanable. Oh well, it was worth a go. We'll just keep that. The car needs a little bit of care.